Hi, my name's Liz. I wanted to talk to you today about step-parents and step-kids. You know, this year was the first year that I gave my stepdad a Father's Day card. And it was the first year that I wanted to. And first year I felt like, not like he deserved it, but like he deserved it. And I just want to share a small piece of experience of my life and see if it's helpful to anyone. My mom was married to my father until I was 5, and she got remarried when I was 12. She was married to my first stepfather for 3 years. When he passed away, he just dropped dead of a heart attack one day, and so they were only married 3 years. But I spent that entire time hating him every day, all day, non-stop, me versus him, in an all-out war over letting him know how much I disliked him and how much I wish I would never see him again. And so when he passed, there was a lot of issues that I had, because I didn't want him to be a part of our family, but I also did not want my mother to go through that kind of pain of losing a spouse and becoming a widow. So those were conflicting emotions for me. My mother got married again in the year 2000, so 5 years after her previous marriage, and this is my second stepfather. And they've been married now for 11 years, and I have to say I started out hating the guy. I mean, I couldn't have hated him more. And I let him know, and I let him know in a private conversation, and I still remember sitting in the living room and telling him, I'm going to outlast you. I'm going to always be here. You're only going to be here a short time. And when you're gone, I'm going to laugh and celebrate the fact that I'm my mother's number one, and you're never, ever going to be part of this family. And I let him know in no uncertain terms that my brothers and I were going to hate him forever and ever and ever, amen. And he didn't really respond in any way. I think he was maybe taken aback by it, because somebody so young saying to him, I hope you and my mom don't get together, I hope you don't last, I wish you bad, I wish bad things for you. Basically what I was saying to him is I wish that I hope your universe is not a happy one. And I went to their wedding. I wasn't very happy about going to their wedding. I was devastated that my mom was marrying another person that I didn't like, and wasn't introduced to me very well. It was kind of like, hey, guess what, I'm getting married. And we didn't slowly build a family over time. This time was a little bit different than the first time because of my age. In the year 2000, I was 20. So it was different than the first time when I was 12. Here's what I want to say. My stepdad, that is my current stepdad for 11 years, is a fantastic, fantastic human being. He's generous and kind. He's the most Christian man, and by Christian I mean he follows the tenets of the Christian faith of, helping your fellow man, and always being generous, being kind to those less fortunate. He's a do-gooder. That's what he is. And he would do almost anything for you. And I don't know when he started winning me over, quote unquote, but I think it was the little things, and it wasn't conversation, it was actions. It was actions that changed how I felt about him. It was the way he cared about my mother. It was the way he did his best to make us happy. And if making us happy meant him getting lost for our birthdays, then he wouldn't show up to our birthdays. If we wanted him to get lost from this party or that party, we didn't invite him and he didn't come. he backed off and waited, and just waited, and he waited till we were ready. And the difference between my last stepfather and this one, besides the fact that I've known this one much, much longer, 3 or 4 times longer than I knew my first stepfather, was this one didn't have kids. My current stepfather doesn't have kids. He doesn't necessarily have a fatherly background, although he kind of raised his siblings. And he may not have known what he was doing, but he did it from the right place. He did it from the right place. And he did it because, one, he loved our mother. He loves our mother. And 2, he wants happiness in the family. He wants cohesiveness. He wants, good Christmases, good Easters, good birthdays, good celebrations. And, I've seen him change, and I've seen him quietly earn our trust. And I realized about 2 years ago that we have in common the biggest thing in the world, and that is that we love our mother, my mother, more than anything else in the world. He loves her so much, unconditionally. He would move mountains for her. He has done more for her physically, emotionally, mentally, helped her through surgeries and physical ailments, and through some very difficult times. And he has also been there for me at times when he really, could have turned the other cheek. But he came in and he was my hero in a lot of instances. And what I mean by that, I give you an example. My car broke down, and I could not afford to fix it. And I knew it, and I knew it was the end of the road for me. So he asked me if he could take me out to lunch, and I said sure, and we went out to lunch. And he said, I called your mechanic, Greg, and I paid to fix your car. And that's when it really hit me. I've been really unfair to this good guy, this really gentle, kind human being who just wants to love our family. He just wants to be a part of our world, our own little world. And it's funny because now he's kind of a grandparent. My brothers have started having kids, and I see the way he looks at them, and he doesn't push himself on them. He doesn't ask to hold them. He doesn't say much when they're around. The smile on his face when he sees them, he lights up. He lights up like a grandpa would, and it really moves me. So I sent him a Father's Day card this year because I wanted to acknowledge the fact that he was a good influence on our family and a positive role model for my generation and for the generation below me. I wanted to tell him for the first time and in writing that I respect him. And I think that all the time spent hating and feuding and fighting step-parents, and believe me, with my first step-parent, that's all I did. All I did was tell him how much I hated him verbally and physically every day of our lives. all that energy, and you could just let him in little by little, little by little, let him in. And my stepdad is not my dad. I have a father. I have a fantastic father. I have a father that loves me. He tells me he loves me all the time. He sends me mail. He sends me postcards. He lives in Europe. He calls me. He texts me. And he tells me that I'm his princess. And I am. And he's my hero. He's my big guy. He's my real dad. He's my father. But my stepfather is my friend. He's my friend. I wish that for you. I wish that for everybody who has a step-parent in their lives. I wish you would just open your heart a little bit. Not enough to get hurt. Just enough to make a little bit of space for him, or if it's a stepmom, for her. And you might be hugely surprised. You might be shocked by the human being that you find. My mom loves this man, my stepdad, and I love her. And a friend of hers is a friend of mine. And I will respect him and treat him as though he's a member of my family forevermore, forever going forward. I hope you can build a relationship with your step-parent like I've built with mine. I don't call him and text him and email him every day, but when we are together, we're together. We're on the same side. We're pushing for the same things. We're working on the same goals. We're trying to move our family forward. And there's unity. That's what I wish for you. Unity. I hope you find it. It's possible.